Now, this TV may be 10 years old, but there's going to be quite a few people wanting to keep these going over the next couple of years. Complaint on this one, it's got a flickery pick. You can probably tell that the brightness on the image is flickering up and down a little bit on that. It's a classic fault on these. It's always a fault with the backlights. Well, 9 times out of 10 anyway, it could be a screen issue, but I doubt it very much. So what we need to do is stick a whole new set of backlights in this and see if the picture quality comes back. Once upon a time, we were doing these repairs all the time. You know, probably 2 or 3 a day, but we're lucky if we're getting 1 a month now, I suppose. So I've just had to go down the lockup and have a look for some backlights, and these were marked LG LB42, which they are. And there's a price on them which says I paid £32 for these. So I reckon this is what you would class as new old stock. I've never opened it, but I must have bought these probably 9 or 10 years ago, something like that, when they were expensive. You can pick these up for about 5 or 6 quid now, but hey, that's what we had to do then. So I'm just going to get these out and get them ready. The strange thing with this model and the same sort of models that we did, the 42-inch LBs, they were a bit of a pain after the LVs, I think it was, that were before this. Because to replace the backlights on these, you had to take the power supply, the main board, and the T-con out, so you could take off the screen supports. And so it was a longer job, so I never used to like doing them. Yet, looking back, I now look back with fondness and quite look forward to doing them from time to time. It's a strange old business, this. But I'm not going to do that at the moment. All I'm going to do for now is just test that the backlights are flickering. I'm pretty sure that it is a backlight issue, but before I go to the trouble of taking all the boards out, I want to test the backlights first and see if I can capture them flickering. There's probably going to be 1 or 2 out. Now, normally what I'd be doing here is taking out the power supply and the main board and the T-con, which is hidden just down there, and then taking the backlights out and putting new ones in. I just want to make sure that it is the backlights that's flickering. It could be a picture that's flickering. I don't think so, but it could be. So I'm going to leave the power board and main board in so I can power up the backlights and see it in its working state, just to double check. But I'm sure we're going to see 1 or 2 backlights out, and I'm sure we're going to see... Sorry, that must have been very loud. And I'm sure we're going to see, yeah, the backlight's flickering, and then we can put the new set in, and then I can take this out. You have to take these out because I've got to get these out, and they're all underneath the power board and the main board. So I've got to take all these little screen supports out, and there's loads of them. And you've got to be quite gentle because, you know, the TV's a few years old now, so they're going to be a bit on the brittle side. And yes, you can see Misty watching my every move. Okay, I did say that I wanted to just check that the backlights are faulty. Just a 10% chance that it could have been a screen issue. But if I just switch to the mobile camera, I think that's going to be our problem. It is burnt up, but let's plug it in and switch them on and see. I've been wrong before, as you probably noticed in the previous videos. So, that one is out, and we've got one just up there as well. Any more? No. Oh, sorry. Maybe that one has just gone out. I don't know. I didn't see it out before, but there you go. Also, it doesn't look like they're flickering here, but I can promise you with my naked eye, they definitely are. So we're going to put a whole new set in. We're putting the sets which are slightly smaller backlights, but it's a much brighter backlight, and it is a better picture quality. Right, the backlights are out. No, they're not. The boards are out. And this is the reason why you have to take the power board, the T-con, and the main board off, because underneath are the screen support clips, and you have to be very gentle. And I haven't done this for a while, so there is a knack to it. You push them both down, then slide them with your fingers. There we go. Dust. Also these little ones which just go around the edge. Every time I do these, there's always one that's left in. Yep, and there it is. Just in case anybody wants to comment, I don't think anybody has before, but saying things like you shouldn't have a cat in the workshop, it's not very hygienic. Well, that's just rubbish. This cat is probably cleaner than most of my friends, and probably most of yours too. So you can probably see the difference in size, but they are a much better, much more reliable backlight. Yes? Yes? Now, I am saving these backlights because sometime during this week I've got a 60-inch version of this for myself, and I'm just going to take some of the, going to solder some of the individual LEDs out and put them in the other one rather than put a whole new set in, because the TV is a bit too old to spend money on, but it's a nice 60-inch TV and we'll get it going. Been trying to do it all year, but never happened yet, but it will this week. This is always your lining up slot, this little pivot here. Once you've got that lined up, the B side will go in. Just going to put all the clips back in and we'll be ready to go. And of course, don't forget when you put your power supply back, make sure you put your protection sheet back, otherwise it will go bang. Also, make sure you put it in the right place, otherwise it will go bang. Now, just in case I haven't mentioned this in the title, it's not a smart TV. You maybe have to tell that from the main board. There's no Wi-Fi console to go with this. But these are becoming quite rare. They're becoming collectible by a certain amount of people. Everything becomes collectible after a time. And we are getting to that time. This is a 3D TV. So the customer's got a massive collection of 3D Blu-rays, and it's quite important to get this working for them. So I'm hoping the backlights are just going to come on. I can't seem to plug it in yet. Yay! Don't believe me, do you? Gosh, they're bright. Anyway, getting the shutter effect, but you know what I mean. They're on. And most important here, they are not flickering. Still a good looking TV, these, with the kind of, there was a bronze finish or a silver finish on the front, little brushed bronze or a brushed silver, and it always looked really good. Still, well, in 2024 I don't think it looks out of style, out of fashion. And again, the bezel on these is not terribly big. I mean, I suppose compared to a 2024 TV, it's a lot bigger, but I think this is still acceptable and still looks fine. And if you want to watch your 3D movies, you ain't got a choice, because 3D won't be coming back. And we're ready. Oh, that's a very bright picture. Let's just check the menu. Wow. Okay. I know it's had brand new backlights, but I'm going to turn those down to 3/4. Color temperature is too far up, as they always are on these from default. Contrast is okay for now, but brightness, wow, that's the problem on that. Let's just turn sharpness. I like to turn up a little bit. The customer can do, obviously. Tint is fine. Color tempo, as we say, is done. So that should be a bit better. I've just pressed play to see if we can get some snooker. Okay, they've obviously got it set up to a soundbar or something, so I'm not going to change that. I don't want to go messing with that, but that picture is still washed out. So I think brightness is still way out there. Where's it gone? That's much better. You're seeing a few wiggly lines on screen for obvious reasons. But that is looking fine, and it's not flickering anymore, even though it's flickering a bit on screen. But I'm seeing a really good, perfect picture here. So I'm happy with that. That can go back to the customer tomorrow. And it's another 3D one saved. We did one a couple of weeks ago. Got a funny feeling we're going to get a run on these sort of things in the next year or two. People that have bought 3D TVs 5 or 6 years ago, the backlights are going to fail. Maybe some screens are going to fail. So some of those jobs will be coming in.